Today we study economic botany. In economic botany, we study rubber plant. Rubber is a prominent plantation crop of considerable significance to the Indian economy. This is known as a industrial crop, emerged as an icon for smallholders. Natural rubber tapped from the bark of tree Hevia brasiliensis, which is the raw material for an industry manufacturing about different type of 50,000 products. The consumption pattern of rubber in our country is highly in favor of natural rubber production, around 76%. Origin and distribution of rubber plant. Rubber had long been an historical plant since Columbus had discovered America in 1495. Red Indian, ancient tribe of south of America, called it crying tree. The reason behind this is that when it is cut off with knife or sharpened tools, its natural latex automatically come out as a tear of tree. This plant is a belong to native of Brazil. Rubber was introduced to in India in 1873 and its commercial cultivation started in 1902. Some important species of rubber, Avia brasiliensis, known as para rubber, Ficus elastica, Indian rubber, Manihot glacioli, Sierra rubber, Castiola elastica, Panama rubber, some Taxicum species, Dandelion rubber, Parthenium argentinum. Botany of rubber plantation. Hevia brasiliensis is a diploid, perennial, monoecious and cross-pollinated tree species. It belongs to the genus Hevia and the botanical family is Euphorbiaceae. Fruits and seeds of rubber plant, only a small proportion of female flowers set fruit and those of 30 to 50% fall off after a month and more fall off later. The mature fruit is a large, compressed, three-lobed capsule. The capsule bursts open at the end of the rainy season, which is the characteristic loud bang similar to the rifle shot sound. The seeds are then collected for sowing in the nursery. Different types of varieties of rubber plant. Soil requirements. Rubber grows well in highly weathered soil consisting of lateritic soils. It prefers well-drained porous soil, which are moderate to highly acidic in nature. Soils must have a minimum depth of 1 meter. Water table should be well below 1 meter to ensure good aeration for root penetration. pH around 4.5 to 6. Agroclimatic requirements for rubber plantation can be grown on rainfall around 2000 mm, temperature 25 to 80 degrees Celsius, humidity around 80%, weather conditions warm and moist, cold weather and high wind speed affect production. Propagation and seed preparation. Prepare a raised bed by cultivating and pulverizing the soil into fine tilth and raising it to 15 cm high from the ground level and 10 cm thick. Fine river sand or aged sawdust is added into it. The seeds are spread in the seed bed. The seeds are covered by a putting layer of fine river sand or aged sawdust to a thickness of about 1.5 centimeter. Various type of propagation method and planting methods. First is green budding. In this picture, the process of green budding. Also young budding. In young budding technique, the seedling stalk is raised in different type of polybags. When seedlings are about 10 weeks old, having basal stem diameter of 6 mm, they are ready for young budding operation. Nursery preparation for rubber plant. Nurseries are maintained for raising seedlings, bedded plants, and budwood. Beds are prepared around 60 to 120 centimeter wide and of convenient length with path wedge laid in between to facilitate manuring, watering, weeding, etc. Spacing in the nursery according to the type of planting material is as follows. Intercropping operation. In the first 2 years, the land area is not fully occupied by the rubber plants, and the interspace can be utilized for growing intercrops between it which do not interfere with the growth of the rubber plant. The common intercrops cultivated in rubber plantations are banana, pineapple, tuber crops, ginger, turmeric, vegetable and medicinal plants. Cover cropping can also be done. Cover cropping is desirable in slopy areas as it helps to prevent soil erosion. This practice also assists in enhancing the soil fertility, suppresses weed growth, and controls the soil temperature. Although any leguminous crop with spreading habit can be grown as a cover cropping. Mulching and weed control practices. The younger rubber plants need to be mulched by spreading dry leaves, grass cuttings, and cover crop loopings around the plant. This is usually done in the month of November to protect the plants from the adverse effect of any possible drought. The weeds commonly found in the rubber plantations are Eupatorium, Cropellina, Borrelia, Lantana, Mimosa. For their control, use diuron, Simagina, Alecor, Paraquat, and glyphosate. Harvesting and yield of rubber. Heavy latex found in the latex vessels contains 30 to 40% rubber in form of the particles. Latex is obtained from the bark of the rubber tree by tapping. The tapping technique is also called as Ridley. Around 6 years after plantation, when the trunk girth of about 50 cm will be reached, at this age, the tree will be ready for tapping. The yields increasing gradually up to 11th year when they will stabilize. The year-wise yield parameter considered from the 6th year to the 11th year. For working out the economic life of a rubber tree is considered as around 25 years. Latex vessels. These are found in the tree's soft bark. They are modified seed tube cells formed by the cambium and coalescing when the dividing cell walls disintegrate. Running anti-clockwise in concentric cylinders at an angle of approximately 30 degrees to the vertical axis of the stem, which is why tapping is done invariably from top left to the bottom right in order to cut the vessels at a right angle. Composition of latex. Rubber particles 20 to 40% of total latex volume, variable in shape but usually pear-shaped or spherical and about 6 nanometer to 5 micron in size. Lutoids 10 to 20%, 0.5 nanometer to 3 micron in size, having an impact on the stability and flow of the latex. Fray whistling particles, these are the third type, around 5%, which play probably role in the coagulation and oxidoreduction process. Other elements like proteins, resins, sugars, glycosides, tannins, alkaloids, minerals, salts, and secondary metabolites also have the participate in composition of latex. The process of tapping. Latex vessels run spirally, low left to high right, an inclination of 3.7 to 5 degree from the vertical. Latex will flow out of the bark only if the latex vessels are severed or cut. For budded plants, the slope of cut is recommended at angle of 30 degree, while the clonal seedlings at 25 degree from the horizontal. This is the process of tapping. Speed of tapping. A rubber tree with a trunk circumference of 50 cm can be tapped using half spiral for a maximum 10 seconds only. Depth of tapping also affects the production of rubber. As the number of latex vessels rings are greater towards inside, tapping must be deep enough to sever. Time of tapping also affects this production of rubber. The best month to open new areas for tapping is March. It is necessary to commence tapping early in the morning as late tapping reduces the exudation of latex. Processing of rubber. Dilution and standardization. The separation of fine sand particles and dirt from the filled latex by stirring alone is found to be impractical due to high viscosity. By dilution of water, the fluidity of the latex increase and separation of fine sand and dirt will be facilitated. Coagulation. The latex is coagulated in metal pans using a dilute acid. This pan is filled with a soft cake of coagulated latex. As many as 20 to 30 rubber trees were tapped to fill this pan. The rolling of process for rubber. After coagulation, the cake of raw rubber must be rolled to remove the water and washed to remove the acid. A worker uses a wooden roller to compress the rubber and squeeze out the acidic water. The metal covered table slopes so the water runs off away from the worker. Later, the cake will be squeezed through rollers to finish the process. Drying. After rolling is completed, the next process is the drying. The sheets of raw rubber is dried on a rack and smoked over a wood fire. Here a sheet of raw rubber dries next to sheet of smoked rubber. Smoking stabilizes the rubber and this form is sold and transported to the manufacturers of rubber products. Sorting, baling and packaging of rubber. Upload dried sheets from trolleys. Fold the unloaded sheets and place them in working area. Trim the undried portion of the rubber sheets for further drying. Sort according to color. Pile the dried rubber sheet. Wrap the valve in transport plastic sheet showing the name of owner. Belt ready for sale and stored in dry place. Future thrust for rubber plantation. Productivity enhancement of the existing plantation through adoption of appropriate agro management practices. Quality upgradation of natural rubber. Modernization of rubber and rubber wood processing factories. That is a short note on rubber. Thanks, students.